And we are live here in Studio in the Sky, beautiful Fort Myers, Florida, getting ready to rock out Business Internet Monthly Mastery, February 2019. Exactly how to focus and prioritize growing your business. How about we do this, shall we? Hello, let's crush this. This is the culmination of 30 years of helping people in business and even online. And I want to make sure I try to simplify this as much as I possibly can for you. We're going to be working from the screen for a while. We're going to be working from the whiteboard. Hopefully you can read this. If you can't, in our replay, I'll be zooming in on the whiteboard when I do that work as we post-produce this. And over here, I tried to make it big enough where you could see it all. That all being said, we got a lot to cover today. I want to thank you so much for being here with me. Our first session today on health, wealth, and happiness, focus, priority, reducing FOMO. That really teed up what we're going to cover today. So first and foremost, to make sure you have all the supplies, in the description of this video, you should see a link to bit.ly success RM, the number 4, the letter U, the number 2. Success roadmap, so RM 4U2. And you should be able to get this. And this is the Success Roadmap version 6. This was originally created by me in 2011, actually, even though the copyright's 2012. Life and Business Success Group came online in 2012 when I started to do the training, coaching, and work that I do. This became the online course, Total Internet Marketing Blueprint, that we're refilming in March. And it was amazing because not only did people buy it, and the name was a tribute to Total Product Blueprint as a huge way of saying thanks to Brendan for creating that tool, that amazing course, Total Product Blueprint version 1. And I wanted to tribute to him, Total Internet Marketing Blueprint. When I created the course, it was twofold. One was to assure people understood how all this worked. 2 was for my team to do it this way, to approach how we help customers, how we help people really go after profitable, purposeful lives and businesses through a framework that's on one page. It may look a little complicated. Today I'm just going to do an overview, but we're going to concentrate big time on the online goal piece and just kind of break out some of these other things. Because here's what I'm seeing, and this may be you, it may not be you. You got all these things you want to do, all these online efforts, even offline efforts, and you're not exactly sure which one to do, or you've been doing them, like to do first, or you've been doing them and you're sitting there 3, 4, 5 months later, maybe a year or 2 years, and your business isn't any bigger than it was when you started. You follow? Like, that's a trick here. And I want to make sure today, by the end of our training, this session, you are ultra clear on what you need to focus on to get over that hump of maybe $0 where you're starting, or just over the hump wherever you're at. Like, I look at it like an engine, right? It's like conked out. Got a couple sales. They weren't recurring. Boom, died. So a couple themes for you to write down as we start today. Then we'll dive into our perspective, training, and tactics. First theme, recurring revenue equals personal freedom. If you know my story, when I got clear on that in 94, I built a business on that in 95. We were able to sell that business in 2000. The people that purchased our business bought it from the perspective of buying our subscribers. 10,000 subscribers at a multiplier was amazing, right? If I didn't make that shift, personal freedom wouldn't happen. Here's what I know. So many people in today's context, in the Netflix generation, they've got recurring payments showing up. They've made the relationship once. Their job is to keep that relationship alive by adding more value, helping them, the people that are subscribers, and then make sure that that payment is automatically set with no end to rebuild. It's a whole different story than trading time for money, where you are, in some instances, you're getting a relationship, they buy one thing from you, and then you're like, okay, now what? Today is beautiful because everybody wants continued perspective. They want to be continually challenged, and they want to be continually, in some instances, coached, right? And so our job is to assure that we draw the line between subscription and continued support, perspective, value, coaching. And if you're one of our beautiful Mastery community members, you know to make sure you're available for them no matter what, like to take care of them. So it's really, really important. And I know you probably know this. If you have any questions, Let's practice and role play up there in the upper right. Whatever it is for you in line of what we cover today, let's just make sure that we're making it real for you and that you're putting it in play, that you're taking action on it. Cool? So that all being said, that big theme of recurring revenue is personal freedom. Another theme is continuity, continued support, help, taking care of people is everything today. And I taught on this in one of our earlier lessons. Unconditional love is the sort of theme that if people feel that from you, refunds, leaving your membership, leaving, whatever it is that you're offering them is reduced. But you have to be of love always. So a big premise to everything today is I hope I'm demonstrating love for you, taking care of you, making sure we're on that path together, owning this journey together. And the best way I can demonstrate love out of the gate is through having us do a self-assessment, see where you're at. That being said, let's go ahead. We got the wide view here in the studio today. So first step, how this works, big picture, training, tactics, how to get the most out of our time together. I know you probably know all about this, but let's just go over it just to be sure. Make sure you have no distractions. Today especially, we're going to be going over things that will course correct for you to really go after living purposefully and profitably. And if you have questions on this, we're doing our Q&A after, and I'll make sure to own that for you. Of course, take notes, star any questions you've got. If you cannot make our Q&A, please submit them. We are doing 2 Q&As per month now, so you can join us on Wednesday, I think February 20th at noon would be our next Q&A. Just another way to serve and support you as we stepped into the new year. Be open and vulnerable. Make sure you ask the question. Make sure you're like, oh, I don't get it. Please tell me more. I'm not watching the comments as I'm doing this because I find that very distracting and I want to make sure I'm owning it for you. But I do review the comments after. So either comment in our live cast or in the replay or send me an email, whatever that is for you. If you're like, you know what, I got to share something with you. Got to let you know something. I don't know if I can do this. Whatever that is, whatever that's coming up for you. Of course, make sure you participate. We do reward for participation. So I'll be watching, see who's really going after it today. And we're all here for you. Know the community we've created, the online realm of what I'm involved in. We're here to support you, care for you, love on you. You're down, you're out, you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. We're here to get you back up, pull you up, course correct, go after it. Cool? Awesome. Our first step, big picture, perspective. Let's go ahead and jump into the 5 Ps. Of all of 2019 so far, up till today, how purposeful have you felt in your business work specifically? In our Health, Wealth, and Happiness, we talk more general. This, specifically in your business work, how purposeful have you felt? And typically there's 2 realms, improving people's lives through what you do and or growing other people's businesses through what you do. So for 2019 so far, for me, that's a 9. I've been feeling like we're on it. I got more to do in the bigger scale, and we're working that, setting the foundation, which we'll cover in just a minute. Really powerful, but whatever it is for you, please let me know. Comment or share, whatever that is, note it. If it's below an 8, think about 1, 2, 3 things you can do to level that up. If you need ideas, make sure you ask in our Q&A roundtable. Be happy to go over that with you. Sometimes people fall out of line with purpose, and it's important to keep the emotional connection with it. So my question is, a total side bonus challenge for you, is do you have a practice in play, like the beautiful high performance planner, where every morning or every evening or both, you're reconnecting with your purpose and saying, this is why I do what I do. And I'm still connected to it and I still want to go full guns with it. Cool? Next up, passionate. Since the beginning of the new year, how passionate, how emotionally fueled have you been? Going after it. Going after helping others. Being there, taking care of yourself as an entrepreneur or business owner. What is that for you? For me, that dipped. Totally open and honest. It's because I've been so in the tactics. I'm in that part of my brain where it's just like programmer mode, that I'm not on the emotional side. And I recognized that early on, but I had to get through a lot of the things we're setting up. So now we're back on, and I recognize that, assessed, and I'm like, okay, it's time to double down on passion. What's the things that enthuse me, that emotionally fuel me, ignite me towards being here with you, rocking it out, taking care of you? Next up, how positive have you been? In your work specifically, have you been bringing the joy for yourself, for your team, if you have a team, for others, for those you love, serve, care for? How well have you been doing here? Because here's what I know, and here's what Brendan Burchard at 2012's Business and Wealth, 10X Business and Wealth event that he had, he goes, I can tell when people's businesses are doing well by the energy in which they bring to how they describe their business. So, context for you. If I said in 2005, when I was going through my divorce, hey guys, yeah, we do internet work, website stuff, marketing. That's how I would have probably said it. And I can tell you in revenue, my revenue dipped during that time when I was just handling life. Life showed up. Then I got back on track with my purpose and my passion, helping people with technology and improving their lives. And boom, you could see it because I was a relationship guy going out, and we're talking about that today. Creating, building, maintaining great relationships, bring in positive energy. So I hope you see how this connects. The positive piece towards the top two, you get these things in momentum on fire. So for me, it's a 7 because I've been into tactics. So I'm working to bring that back online. I can feel it, fingertips going after it. Next up is productivity. How productive have you been in your business? This is the context for this rating. 2019 so far. Productive meaning you've been working towards your bigger goals and ambitions in your business and taking care of your priorities. Right? What is that for you? For me, a 9. We've been really going after economy proofing our business. And I'd be happy to go over that in our Q&A today. If you want to talk about that, totally open, honest, share exactly what we've been doing as we think that through. I've been through a couple economic shifts, as I call them, 2008, 9, 10, and then earlier in the 90s, and really, really pivotal. There's things that I do that I sense it, I have an intuitive piece to it, and I put things in play, and I strategically think about how to go after that. So I'm happy to go over that with you. And of course, how profitable we've been since the beginning of the year. And for me, that's a 10. But please know, that's years of getting there. That's years of skill building, behavior, mindset, really going after the actionable steps. Talked about that in Health, Wealth, and Happiness to assure I'm living into that piece. You follow? So whatever the ratings are for you, be totally cool with them. If you got a 1 or a 0 in any of these, that's totally fine. We're just looking for ways to level up. Got it so far? Sweet. Let's go on to the next step. The 4 needle movers of an exceptional business growth. Relationships plus offers equals transactions times consistency. That's my formula, ROTC. Or as Paul says, ROTC. I love that, Paul. So over the course of 2019 so far, have you been cultivating, maintaining, building, sustaining the relationships that you can serve, that help you grow your business, that you've been giving them offers? So you're talking to them, seeing where their struggle is. We'll talk about that over here. Going after co-creating what's possible. In that order, recognizing struggle, co-creating what's possible, the ambition, and then telling them how you can help them bridge the gap. Have you been doing that? And has that bridging of the gap, have you been ultra clear there's a specific offer you have tuned for them that can help them go from struggle to ambition faster than they would on their own? That is in essence sales, right? Sales is recognizing somebody's struggle, talking to them, helping them, building that ambition or what's possible, asking them, hey, can I help you? Telling me you got specific things you can do to go after it. You'll see that the success roadmap is not only the struggle piece, you'll see it in here, you'll see the ambitions in here, but this is the gap, the bridging of the gap. We just got to prioritize these things, put strategy and action to them, and watch your business take off. You follow? So this tool is everything about what we've just gone over. The offer. You got clear offers online. Clear next steps for them. And maybe your offers aren't online. Maybe it's just a proposal that you've given to them. You can send to them. They can sign it, DocuSign, whatever that is. Do you have clear offers? So many of the people I've been working with this last 2 weeks are like, no, I don't really have clear offers. I need to focus and prioritize my offers. And we'll talk about that. For me, 7. I have the scale offers that I haven't put in yet. So I'm working on those. That's top on the list as we move through February. And then finally, how are you doing in transactions? So relationships, are you continually growing, building, maintaining relationships? Do you have solid offers online? Are you tuning them, moving them along? Are they converting to transactions? And most importantly, Are you doing this work consistently? So as you see for me, I just did the assessment before we started today. 7 on relationships, 7 on offers, 8 on transactions, 7 on consistency. My consistency is up. I've been putting things in play consistently this year, part of my word of the year. This stuff kind of builds towards consistency for me. And the reason these are low is because we've been setting up I would call economic proofing our business. I've been having to be in the left side of my mind, even though that's antiquated from what Brendan shared in terms of neuroscience. Got to keep that clear. So these numbers, my dream is to have these all up 1 next month at this time. The most important part of what I just shared with you is this. I have a very clear plan for that. And it goes into the training of what we're going to cover today. So where is that for you? How have you been doing on relationships? If I looked right now, could you send me 1, 2, or 3 offers that have some money behind them? And have you been putting that stuff into the world consistently and generating consistent transactions from it? Take a moment. What is that for you? I'd love to know. You gonna share? Do it. Don't be afraid. Awesome. Our second step today is training. So first and foremost, make sure that you have this delight. The Success Roadmap version 6. You can get it if you're in the live cast. You'll see it linked in the comments. If you are watching the replay, it's in the replay. I'll have that for you to download. But you can get it at bit.ly/success roadmap for you too. So success RM, the number 4, the letter U 2. Sorry, it's a little lengthy there. The reality of today's training is this. We've got to go over a couple of key concepts and then dive into the Success Roadmap. I want to make sure we paint the picture. Give you the lay of the land first. So some of these I've covered before, many times sometimes, but I got to make sure that we're getting you back on that track. Because here's what we know. Sometimes it requires people to hear things a couple times, a few times. Conversations this week showed me that that's what we've covered. We really have to own that for you. Oh yeah, I needed to hear it again. So let's lay the land and then we'll go into how to prioritize. Our goal today is so clear, exactly how to focus and prioritize growing your business. So in line of that, here's the thing that I want you to be really clear about. The approach that I use, finally, after many years of not, and the approach that the big guys use, like Brenda Bouchard, Dean Graziosi, Frank Kern, Darren Hardy, is they follow this model, not this model. Now, what does this all mean, right? So there's 3 main goals online and in business. The first main goal is to generate awareness. The second main goal is to generate leads from that awareness. And the third main goal, which is generally the goal that should be prioritized first, we'll talk about that, but it's put to last, is to generate real sales. You follow this so far? So let me kind of paint the frame for you. Awareness leads sales. In the old days, awareness was generated by going to, I'm saying the old days, before the internet became popular, we'll say. So let's go all the way up to 1995. Awareness was generated in print, in person, phone calls, those kind of things, right? And in that conversation, they were trying to discern if it was somebody they had never talked to, whether that person had interest in whatever the thing they were selling was, right? Does that make sense so far? So what's happened as we've evolved on social media, I'm seeing this with a lot of the people in our mastery community and a lot of people in general who've reached out to me, and I've actually reached out to them too, is they're just putting out goodwill in the world, which is totally fine, but they're completely missing every so often putting out something that says, hey, along what I've been sharing for you, I can help you with it. And that's where the sort of lead conversion can happen. So awareness is just general information out to the world. People that look at it are anonymous to you. When you get to the level of leads, you're putting goodwill into the world, but you're also saying in that information, hey, I got something that can help you from maybe where you're at to where you want to be. And if you want it, make yourself non-anonymous to me. You can give me your phone number, I can text you. You can give me your email, that's the most common. You can call me, you can live chat, whatever that is, right? Facebook bots. You could get on a messenger sequence, kind of like an email funnel, right? And then that builds towards sales. What I'm seeing a lot of people do, and this is the common question I got in the last 2 weeks, is they're doing the awareness in its own little bubble. Leads, they're not really doing that. And the sales, as you see, I made it small. They're like, I'm doing all the right things, Char. I got my podcast going. I got my posts on social media going 4 times a day. I got this, that, and the other thing going. Then I ask them, or I'll go with them to their Kajabi, the tool that we use for taking money and delivering products. And I'll go with them to their sales dashboard, and they're not converting sales. Then we look further, and guess what they don't have? As we covered a moment ago, they don't have any real clearly defined offers. Oh, I kind of wanted to just get going on this. Well, here's the shift. The people that are making it rock online, they start here. This stuff feeds the leads. This stuff feeds the awareness. How does that actually work? Let me break it down for you. This very training, I've structured in such a way where people are watching it and learning, right? But I'm going to split it out into chunks and use the pieces to build leads and put goodwill in the world. So for example, if I could replay our training right now for you, I'd go back to where I was talking about those 2 themes. I will cut out the theme, recurring revenue equals personal freedom. I'll cut out the other theme about that consistency. People need perspective, coaching, those kind of things. And those are 2 clips that I can put into social that says, hey guys, this comes from our monthly training. If you like what we're doing here, let me know. Or get access to this replay for free or for a fee, or get access to this part of the replay, right? By giving me your email address. You follow this so far? So my challenge for you in everything that I've shared, I'm going to go into more articulation because I think it needs it, is when you get clear on your offers and you get clear on delivering content as we teach, theme, story, training, challenge, you'll see that all throughout this training, we can use that as social media content. We can use that even as a podcast. I could easily share the perspective parts of our training, which is usually the first 10 to 15 minutes, as podcast material. Just kind of keep it in check. Hey guys, in this podcast, I'm going to be taking you through, if we did the health, wealth, and happiness one earlier today, the 5 P's and the 4 A's. The 5 P's, purpose, passion, and so forth, and the 4 A's, the 4 agreements. And would that add value? If people were driving along and they were doing that, wow, where do I rate? Yeah. So I'm kind of jump-starting this for you, but here's the shift. So many people are unfocused because they're putting out content in the awareness bubble, but it's not connected to the next step for the person or people they're trying to reach towards growing their business. That doesn't get connected to growing leads. It doesn't get connected to actual sales conversion. After a while, when people hear material, they're like, I love what you're doing. And then you may structure an offer where they can get in to more replay and training for a trial fee, right? In Kajabi, you can do $1, $10, whatever that is, for the first 30 days, 60 days, 7 days, whatever it is, and let them get more. So often I've had to tell people and coach them on this, that we have to shift the pivot. A lot of people have asked me, I think 8 people have asked me in the last 2 weeks, I want to do a podcast. And I'm like, how are you doing on your sales? Oh, yeah, not good, or none at all. And then I ask, is sales important to you? Yes. Okay. Is the podcast going to help sales? Well, I guess so. That's usually the answer. And I'm like, well, let's really think this through strategically. What can you create? And what relationships do you need to build to get people to buy an offer that you can create content, like I do for monthly mastery training, that can be used maybe as podcast material, maybe as videos, video snippets, all these kind of things. Little clips on Facebook, bigger clips on YouTube. And it will hit all these buckets at once. So let's kind of break this down for you just a little bit further, and then we'll step into the who, the what, and the how. When we look at this model, we're really clear that we have very clear offers. And the offer is always part of the conversation. It may not be part of that stage of the conversation, meaning we're putting goodwill into the world For example, hey guys, in this video I'm going to go over this, or in this video I'm reviewing one of my favorite themes, personal freedom equals recurring revenue. And let me know what you think about it. How do you feel about it? Do you have a recurring revenue stream? By the way, this training comes from our monthly mastery program, our monthly mastery training. Learn more about it here. And I might take them to that. Or in that context, I might say, if you want more of this, go over here and get the replay of that entire segment. So the perspective piece of our training. Remember, I know I'm throwing a lot at you. Perspective, training, tactics. Perspective, training, tactics is how we work in terms of the way I've approached teaching and online, right? So the perspective piece, in my mind, a giveaway. That's cool because we're just kind of lay of the land, assessment, trying to figure out how we do it in the big picture. The training piece wouldn't probably give it all away. The tactics piece would probably never give that away. People pay for tactics. They pay for the how-to. You follow? So I might pepper some of this out that we train on today. Definitely pepper some of the perspective out. Won't be peppering out the tactics. They would pay for that. You see the tiers here? So let's kind of break it down in the model. Perspective, we'll put that out all day long as awareness. Hey guys, do you ever consider personal freedom equals recurring revenue? Here's a little clip that kind of walks you through how I've been able to retire at 29 and go after my bigger ambitions and purpose, right? The lead piece, hey, if you like that training, sign up here and you get the whole perspective segment of that particular teachable day, right? Teachable session. If you like what we're doing in perspective, here's a little sample of the training. And you can get into that for a trial of $1. And if you like it, you automatically be rebilled. You see how this tier up is? You see how the sales is inside the bubble of leads, inside the bubble of awareness? This stuff I'm doing here is used here and here. Unlike what I'm seeing a lot of people do is they're just like, I'm putting out a podcast. And nowhere in the podcast, and you don't have to use what you've created in sales, but nowhere in the podcast do they reference they have a next step for the listener. And I'm seeing that a lot. So the challenge for you is this, and here's how that can look. Throughout the podcast, reignition on the fact that, hey, you know what? The topics we're covering here are all part of my bigger theme in health, wealth, and happiness. And every month I have training, and you can get access to our library. I'll talk to you more about that at the end of the podcast. Just that line. Then near the end of the podcast, you say, you know, as I talked about earlier, this is all part of the thematic work that I do in health, wealth, and happiness. And if you're interested in learning more, take a look at this. And you might include a little sample, a bit.ly link for them to go to get an immersion into what you're doing from here and here perspective, right? And they can step into that. And you have the next steps for them. If you ever follow Brendon Burchard, he talks about the grid. Like before you actually start taking money in the grid, where you have a lower tier price point, medium, high, you may have free. Free can be the podcast, but it's very clearly designed and you've trained yourself to say things that let them know you got more for them. And I'm seeing a lot of missing pieces there. But here's the arc. The reason it's missing from what I've seen is because they don't have offers they believe in. They're like, I don't really have an offer that I believe in or that I'm fueling. Like energy flows where attention goes, right? So when you have an offer you believe in, like I do with the mastery community, and I do with what we're going to be debuting as the monthly training, like seasons, which will be not mastery community, but you can get access to the trainings. Like those two things I believe in because they're so powerful and they've generated lots of results for people. And I love helping people that way. Those would be the baby steps inside the awareness plays. I hope this is connecting for you. I just want to be clear that you need to be thinking about your offers, that's in the sales piece, and using those offers or parts of what you create through the offer as lead material. So for example, if you lead a high performance group coaching call, maybe you take the front end where you go over high performance and you put that out there as a small little audio clip that they can get. If you lead people in meditation, Nick Pigeon did this, one of our mastery community members. She does this millionaire meditation. It's basically 8 minutes long. She put it on SoundCloud, but to get access to the link for it, which you can get to, she kind of hit it. She asks for an email address and she paints the picture of what that millionaire meditation will do for you. Now, when you're in the millionaire meditation, she's very clear about the next step. of what you can do to work with her, to really get more mastery, go deeper. You follow? So I just challenging you right now on this. Do you have specific offers that you feel emotionally connected with, emotionally fueled? If those offers relate to you teaching, training, recording your audio, whatever it is, can you pull clips of that and use it in Facebook? Typically you want to use videos on Facebook that are about 30 seconds to a minute. Or on YouTube, if you can pull 8 to 12 minutes, that's the sweet spot. Are you using those clips in YouTube and in Facebook consistently? You see how this builds? So you're hitting all three realms, but you're very clear about this tier, not the separate entities, separate bubbles. Oh, sales, yeah, I don't really think about that. I'm just putting awareness out there, but why is nobody calling me or contacting me? You follow? I hope this helps. One more illustration is from the awareness play. When you do a Facebook live cast or Facebook posts, you can create a campaign, which is basically a limited time promotion that says, hey, you know what? Over the next week, I'm going to be talking about high performance things, or I'm going to be talking about things that I'm known for, helping you build a business, whatever that is for you. And if you like that, go ahead and fill out my application or fill out my questionnaire that tells me where you're at so that I can see how I can help you further. You follow? Because that helps you understand where they're at in their particular situation, and that informs you on what would be the best offer to provide them. I know we're talking at a high level here today, but I want to make sure we lay the land before we go in the success roadmap. So there's a lot of presumption here that you've got some of this dialed in already, or that you have a lay of the land in terms of what you're doing, and you have a way to take money online. So a couple illustrations. Who are the people that you're trying to go after in this realm? And I always teach, this is how I build all my businesses. This is how so many people have pivoted. I'm looking at Paul and Jim and Alana and Nina, and I'm trying to think, so many of our beautiful Mastery community members. We start with us, and we start to have the conversation with the people closest to us. And when you think about what that conversation looks like, towards generating revenue, towards growing business, but also living purposefully and passionately, helping them improve their life or grow their business, whatever it is, whatever you do, this is the way the conversation looks. It lives right into this persuasion formula, session 10, high performance coaching, where the first thing we're doing in that conversation is we're saying to them, hey, what are you struggling with in life? What are you struggling with in your business? What are you struggling with online? That's how I start the conversation, depending on the context. Oh, okay, tell me more. Why has that been a struggle for you? Invariably, at some point, I switch from the S, the struggle, to the A, the ambition. Oh, okay, so I've got these 3 things down, or 5 things. These are 3 big struggles for you. Is there anything else? No? Okay. Now, with each of those struggles, what does the world look like if you get that right? What would it be if that problem or struggle or challenge went away? Let's talk about that for a while. Is that okay? Yes. Now you notice I keep asking, is that okay? And that keeps the co-creation in play. So another high performance theme at play here. People support what they create. Follow? Good stuff? What do we got for time? Wow, we're booking through time. Love being in the moment with you. Invariably, at some point, I stop that conversation. So I say, here's the 3 to 5 things you're struggling with. Here's a couple things that are ambitions, and here's why they're important to you to get there. Do you want some help? I think I can help you. And that's where we bring in this. This can be the offer, the steps, the way that you can, if you're a consultant, the things you'll do for them to help them from here to there, right? The things that you're going to provide them, or the training you're going to provide them, or the coaching, whatever that is. So who it is, I challenge you to work with the people you know. We've gone over this if you followed us, trained with me before. You just start developing your list. Paul has a really good way of doing that. Paul, thanks for sharing that with me. Systematic, spreadsheet driven. I'm pretty sure Patrick has something similar. Our spreadsheet guys in our mastery community. And we work that all the way out. Then we talk about the conversation itself and then the how. Like, what are we trying to get them through? First, we're building that relationship, as we've talked about, and we're clear about who those relationships are. The way we build a relationship is through compassion, which is in essence this formula, the persuasion formula. If you define compassion as recognizing somebody's struggle, having a desire to alleviate it. recognizing somebody's struggle, having a desire to alleviate it. Compassion doesn't go as far as to say having a desire to set new ambition and go after it, but that's the baby stage of a relationship, right? So the relationship, we follow that. Next, we connect the greens. So I'm going to draw this right here. This is the offer. And if that person feels the emotional fuel that you're going to help them, they click on the offer, they press buy, put their credit card number in, purchase the offer, and you have a transaction. So in light of everything we've shared, before we pivot to teach the success roadmap, which prioritizes things for us, here's the focal points. First focal point, what are we doing that's serving the world that we can possibly reuse to get leads? Or what have we created that is what we would classify as a lead magnet? I sometimes call it a learn-based incentive. Like, you get this value in advance, but you got to give me your email address. And then outside of that, what are we doing for awareness? So let me give you a couple points of context here. One, when I take a picture of this board and I'm standing by it, I'll put this on Instagram and Facebook. And then I'll talk about what we're doing in the monthly mastery training. And if they want access to it in Instagram, go to my profile, click in the link. And that's how I got an extra 100 people into our January, New Year's Day, 2019 Jumpstart. People, and I watch them because I have that business profile turned on Instagram. They'd see that, they'd hear what I was up to, they'd click that link, and then they'd sign in. I couldn't believe it. Like, I had 175 opt-ins just because I posted an image of me talking about, we're going to go over this more or less start-stop. If you were on that, you knew the power of it. And people were on it. I could have also just posted goodwill message to the world and said, hey, I hope you have a great new year. That would have been more of an awareness play with my branding, my name, my face, right? I didn't. I had my name and my face, but I had a bigger endeavor for them. And that was to get clear on what they were going to do going into the new year. You feel the difference here? So the awareness play that I put in play is the leads component. They joined, and then they're going to be offered and have been offered to join in our mastery community, to apply for it, and or to get into the vault, as we'll call it, seasons of training, those kinds of things. You follow? So it's a very different way of being from what I've seen a lot of people do. And I just want to make sure you have a lot of illustration, a lot of help there. Now, who? People you know the closest? You just got to ask the right questions and bring the right energy. This is a conversation I had earlier this week with a client. And they said, Char, I've been going around. Nobody's buying what I got. And I asked him, I said, have you been asking the right questions to ignite what they're struggling with in relation to what you can do to help them? No. I don't think I was asking any questions. I was just like, hey, I'm a coach, I can coach you. But they weren't getting into the intricacies of what it was. And most importantly, were you igniting their emotions around what's possible? You follow? Really, really pivotal. Really crazy. When you get people's emotions ignited, people buy on emotion. So when their emotions are ignited and you say, I got the solve for you, click here and get into the offer, and we'll start right away on working this to get you where you want to be. It's a different conversation than, hey, I'm a coach, I can help you in that area. You feel the difference? So real pivotal as we think about the what and the structure, and then the how. The relationship, that's how we build the relationship compassionately. The offer very clearly bridges the gap. And the transaction comes if they feel that what you've shared with them is of enough value and they believe in you enough that you're going to get them there or help them get started there. Boom, they're in. I don't know of any other ways to put this, but I want to give you more context on how to prioritize what this looks like. So that being said, I hope this has all landed for you. If it has not, please comment, email, let me know. We'll do a check-in session to assure you get it. I want to make sure we give due respect to the time on the success roadmap. So this roadmap, as I had mentioned, is still the way I meet with clients when it comes to business and internet work. Because here's the frame. So many people come to me, and these are service-oriented businesses. These are entrepreneurs with a dream. And they're like, I just want to get my name out in the world and let people know I can do this. And I'm like, most of the time, unfortunately, that's not enough. We got to get real clear and articulate with what your goals are. Other times, people have been in their business, let's just give you an illustration, landscaping for 20 years. They come in and they're like, I got some stuff online, but I don't really know. I just know I need SEO. I need to start showing up for phrases. And I'm like, so let's back that up a minute. What are the things you're doing now that generate revenue? What are the things that are generating profit for your business? Oh, well, we just referral based. Oh, cool. So you got a good set of referrals? Yeah, we got a good set of referrals. What are you doing to really facilitate keeping those referrals knowledgeable about your new services, or that you're still around, or that you've celebrated something, news release, right? And you're like, oh, we don't really do any of that. I'm like, if you were to put more time, energy, and effort into like an email newsletter, to create a news release when you celebrate milestones, like 10% more sales this year over last, new employee, do you think that would bring you top of mind in the customer mind? Oh, yeah. If you put a strategy to that and did that consistent, would that help? Oh, yeah. So this success roadmap has helped people from online thought leaders through service-oriented businesses, through all these kinds of realms. Literally thousands of people have been put through this over the years. And it takes a while to learn it. But here's my promise to you. Today we're just going to go over the arc, the basics, so that you have a very clear plan on what to prioritize and how to think things through. And I believe what we're going to do in our next month is we're going to dive deep. And then the month after that, we're going to dive deep on these different areas. So let me just kind of paint the frame here a little bit for you. When you think about what you need to focus on, and I'm going to use the illustration of growing a thought leader business from scratch, meaning that you've got online courses and a monthly program that you're going to be providing. Cool? So as you fill out, if you have it, go ahead and get it. As you fill this out, the very top part of it is your online goal. And you have to be real clear about, yes, I want to generate awareness, check. Yes, I want to generate leads, check. And yes, at the end of the day, I need to generate online sales, check. Just having that checked is an amazing first step in you recognizing the areas that we need to concentrate on. Now, most people are like, I'm just going to go out and meet with people and tell them what I do. And that's cool. But what are you doing to get their name, see where their interests are? Most people that I've coached, worked with, are not proficient in the what. They don't go into a conversation, especially if they're a one-man show or a smaller business. They haven't been trained in sales. They don't go into the conversation and ask where you're struggling. They just go in there and say, hey, I'm here, I can help you. Here's what I do. They don't get the emotional connection. The very best salespeople, they get the emotional connection. You ever heard the story about the car salespeople? The one that's like, hey, you want to buy a car? Cool, this is the cars that we got. Doesn't do as much as sales as the other one who says, hey, you know what? What's showing up for you in life? Would it be awesome if you had a way as you're walking out of your car with a handful of groceries to somehow signal your car that the back needs to open? To make your life easier? And they get right into their life, the struggle, the ambition. So that whole idea is that you can put your foot underneath, I think, some bumper on one of the minivans or whatever that is SUV, and the back automatically opens if you have your fob in your pocket or your purse. And what they're demonstrating is the emotional benefit. You feel the difference here? And that's how the sales are made, both online and offline. So in context for what I said, the very first thing to prioritize as we step down below those three goals is inside the basics. I'm just going to touch on these. I don't have the time today to go through these in depth. But the very first thing that I do with people is we develop their foundation. And their foundation is everything about this. This, and this. What we're trying to get at here when we think of a foundation is, what are the 1, 2, or 3 things we provide to the world that make the world easier, that either improve people's lives or grow their business, depending on whether we're a business to consumer, B2C, business to business kind of business. Business to consumer is where you're improving people's lives with the products or solutions or services you sell. B2B is where you're helping people grow their business. Streamline, efficiency, whatever that would be, right? So what we have to be real clear about in the foundation is, what are the specific things that we have for sale? And then, what are the relationships? Who are the people that we can serve along this ambition line that we need to go after? Sometimes we call that developing your customer avatar. I'm not a fan of that. I really follow Brendan Burchard's work in the sense of painting the ambition line and saying, here's what we can do to go after helping you the best towards whatever it is that we do to serve the world. Let me give you a little context. If I'm a coach and you come to me and you're like, my business is struggling, I'm struggling. I don't know. I know I got to reinvent myself. I'm not sure what to do. Okay, you're struggling. Your business is struggling. Let's break that down a little bit. What are you struggling with? Well, I just feel I'm losing my zest, they'll even say my passion for my business. And I'm seeing sales fall. I'm seeing customers leave. Okay, so it sounds to me, in order to get clear on what you need to do, you need more clarity. Boom. Session 2 in high performance. Would more clarity about how you need to show up today versus maybe you have been for the last few years, would that help you, do you think? And I'm working the A. So let's talk about clarity for a minute. What is it that you see yourself doing if things were going right? You follow how I'm kind of going along the path here? That's what we try to do with each of the offers, is figure out what are the relationships. We kind of dial that in. Inside the foundation, we'll also set goals. We talked about this in our Health, Wealth, and Happiness training today. We'll set a goal out there, and then we'll come down and say, what are the skills, behaviors, mindset, detailed actions that we need to take to move towards that goal? You follow? So when we say, okay, in line of my subscription plan, my subscription program, or in the case of some service businesses, my maintenance program, the goal is to get 1,000 people subscribed. Okay. What are the skills, behaviors, mindset, actions that you and your team need to take to go for that goal? And what are we going to do to train them on that? So they're talking differently. They're asking different questions. And that has helped so many businesses. That's part of the foundation work. But it all comes down to relationships, offers, and assuring that we have a very clear path to generate transactions. You following? I hope this is landing for you, but that's the foundation piece. Now what we do is we go through, once we have the foundation complete, we work through the basics. If you're a fan of Brendon Burchard, this follows the basics and the amplifiers, basically the charge, the book, where he has the basic things you need to put in play to live a fully charged life and the amplifiers. And I love that because when I built all this, I was fully immersed in Brendon's work, and I'm like, I'm going to attribute this to him, and I actually got to tell him all this, which was amazing, right? So the basics are the things that we need to have in play. And I'm just going to kind of skim through these along the lines of what we've taught today to see if this lands for you. Second piece is, okay, now let's picture the year in 4 different compartments. Of all the offers you have right now, what's most purposeful, most profitable, most fulfilling, most desirable for you and the customers? So often people aren't clear on, they'll go for the easy one that's not as profitable, right? And what we try to do in that work is to say, okay, at the end of the day, I need to be generating maintenance contracts. At the end of the day, for thought leaders, I need to be generating subscriptions. Okay, so let's think about a campaign, a series of promotions that can go after building memberships. And then we kind of break that down. And we say, okay, there's some emails to it. There's some phone calls made to the people. So we got the sales team on it. We got the email, the internet marketing team on it. We got the social team on it. Okay, now let's build that strategy. Let's think that through. Well, we're only going to focus on one thing for 3 months. So in light of everything I shared with you just now, what is your one offer that needs to be promoted, that needs to be gone after, that can bring stability to your business in terms of recurring revenue? I'm going to go after that for you, but also profitability if you're not profitable yet. And I'm making the presumption you know what profit is. Profit is where you're well past your break even. The amount of money you're putting out every month is usually how it's measured to keep your business and you alive, where you're not going in debt and not losing money, right? So profit is that or above. It's a little bit above break even. Cool? So what is the one offer you need to go after? What's the one piece in this sales bubble that is like this? Everything evolves around this offer for an enduring period of time, and I'm going to go after it. Now, what's the campaign you're going to build to put into play to let the world know there's a limited time to that offer being available, at least with the bonuses or the way that it's served now or the price point it is. We talk a lot about this at founding level for monthly membership, $97. Early adopters, $197. General membership, $297, right? And we got to build the campaign. My challenge for you is to only build 4 campaigns per year. If you're just starting out, maybe 2 per year. And just go after them. Sort them out. Try them different ways. Make the phone calls. Do what you got to do. Get their language. It's the one-on-one piece. If you follow the ultimate relationship outline and the ultimate offer outline, you'll see that I train. The very greatest way to get the language to use in an online campaign is to run the campaign by just calling people and saying, hey, I built something for you. But before I tell you about it, what are you struggling with in relation to ... And you walk through that what conversation. You follow? I hope this is landing for you. Now, above and beyond that, you'll notice there's check marks and there's underscores. What I typically do is I say check to foundation, and I give that a rating of 1, which means that's high priority. 2, campaign around most profitable, most desirable, most fulfilling service, solution, or product. We've got to build a campaign around that. Maybe it's a 6-month campaign or a 3-month campaign. So that's got a check and a 1. Now beyond that, I check or don't check depending on the business. So the huge part to a lot of the service businesses that we work with, even consultants, coaching a little bit, practitioners, is number 3, business listings and reviews. Because I don't know about you, but I make major decisions on whether a business is listed and their information's there, menus, for example, with food, and the reviews, right? So we've got to consider how that affects our audience. Sometimes we just do a competitive analysis and we say, you know what? I got to go out and see, what are my competitors doing? Do I need to be involved in this? Most companies we help at ISG, they do need to be involved in that. And we have great tools like GatherUp that we use to facilitate reviews and make sure that there's a consistency to the reviews. Works out well. 4th item is your website, is making sure that you've got clear ways for people to learn what you've got from a relationship perspective, and that you've acknowledged their struggle and have talked about the ambition. The persuasion formula is at play in your website. If you can specifically solve a need and you can give them a PDF that helps, like a checklist, those have been really powerful. And I'm studying a guy right now who just hit $1 million in sales in Kajabi, and he did 85 grand last month. And we're really debunking, and I'm working with him to debunk exactly what it was that made the pivot for him to go to that scale level, because he's gone from growth to scale recently. So I'll reflect on that with you. Next, we have blogging. And so often I'll check that, but I'll give it a priority of 2 or 3. We'll fire up blogging once we get the momentum going with our campaigns as another value add in the awareness realm. You follow? And we'll assure, like we trained last month, that every blog post has very clear next steps. Hey, if you're interested in learning more, listen to or get our checklist that goes over what we cover here. Like the whole, for me, it's the wheel of perspective. Take the 10-day challenge. Or if you think you need help right now, moving your life forward, fill out my high performance application. We'll get you some focus, some clarity, some energy in a strategy session, just to make sure we're taking care of you and you're living that fully charged life, or at least working towards it. You follow how those are points of action in there, but they come after we've created the offers? So if you're only hearing one thing today, it's this. Very clear, well-defined offers. First, if you can leverage what you're creating in those offers and copy, snip, whatever that is, to be lead generators, awareness generators, that's working incredibly efficiently. I want to make sure you're not working these bubbles separately. You follow? So I hope this is helping you think through this strategically. Next up is learn-based incentives, and these are things like lead magnets, value in advance. For example, my assessments, the life assessment, business assessment, internet assessment, the wheel of perspective. These are all learn-based incentives. Email marketing, very, very pivotal as we think about, okay, how are we using email to go after our people, to build a relationship, to continue to shine the light of the beauty of what we put into the world. Typically that's done through value sequences with offers in the line of the work that we do. Next up is news releases. So many people don't realize the power of news releases. Let me just break it down for you real quick because we have a lot of time today to go over the details of this. Google prioritizes news. So if you do a news release and you want to SEO it, search engine optimize it, instead of saying Charly Caldwell reaches 3,500 high performance coaching sessions, I could say international high performance coach clears 3,500 high performance coaching sessions. Boom. I've used keywords in the title. In the content, I would talk about what high performance is, how it's helping the world be a better place. I'd have a CEO quote, as it's called. something along the lines of, it's been an absolute honor to be certified in the high performance coaching world to help people gain clarity, energy, courage, and live purposefully. That's my job on this planet. And then I would have the About Charly and the About High Performance Coaching segments in that news release. And I got to tell you, I have been doing that work for my high performance work. I've been doing it in our other work. That's all stuff that's coming back online as we go to scale. So I hope you're sensing where this is going. And I know I'm throwing a lot at you, but I want to make sure you take care. And auto status updates. Now, auto in the sense that we're using the scheduling tool like Facebook's publish feature, but we're putting love, care, and energy in every post. Not automated like just throwing stuff out there that doesn't have any like emotional tissue, as Bo Easton teaches, emotional connection. So you follow so far? I hope this is helping you. I hope it's not too overwhelming, but that's the basics. I'm not going to go into detail. We're running out of time for all the rest of the stuff, but I am going to kind of cover in basics the amplifiers for you. Once we get through the basics, then we talk about actively going out in social networking. We talk about going online, putting ads. Ads are a really powerful way to grow any business. Still today, we have proof of that in coaching, consulting, all service businesses, especially if you have a specific special or campaign. Online ads in the sense of Craigslist has been real powerful for a lot of our customers. Backpage, a couple of the other ones that are like that. Videos, of course, big part of what we were talking about earlier. Online, or just photos, sharing a photo specifically that demonstrate the struggle to the ambition. Podcasts, you notice if I was to check that for most people, that'd come third in priority. First would be the foundation, the website, taking money. Second would be going through maybe blogging and status updates. If I had exhausted calling everybody I knew. Third would be podcasts. Surveys are a great way to get people's struggles and help understand your audience. So that might be prioritized as third or second, maybe first, depending on if you're really trying to get a new course built, something along those lines. And then these last three are really pivotal. Opportunity scouting is where you literally take a block of time, maybe an hour, and you go out and you see where are people struggling in forums, in Facebook groups, and LinkedIn groups, whatever it is, with what I am an expert in. And all you're doing is getting a spreadsheet out and documenting it. Cool? The next one, real-time marketing, is where you go in and you actually add value. Open, honest, full value, recognizing their question or their struggle and just going to town adding value. And if they let you do video, I like to do video there. But you're adding value there. Now, keeping in mind, that's an awareness play, right? And you're looking for them to reach out to you, because a lot of those places don't let you sell or link to anything. You're like, you know what, if you need more context or more illustration, just pop me a message or comment below. Doing that work generated so much sales for me personally in 2012 and 13 in the work of online marketing, but then in 13, 14 in work of high performance coaching. Going out and recognizing people struggle and then doing a big thing, one post that leaves a legacy in LinkedIn groups, created 15 strategy sessions for me. Really, really pivotal and powerful. Ethical link building, the last piece, is if you want your site to rank up. Go over that real quick for you. Basically, in order to get your site to rank organically in the search engines, you have to be linked from relevant, popular places. So a great example of this for high performance coaches is to be linked from the High Performance Institute's coaches page, because that's about high performance coaching. That's a powerful link. Another one is to be linked from your local chamber website. Another one is to be linked from any of the profiles you have online. In Facebook, in LinkedIn, Twitter, these all help the page you're linking to, which could be your main page of your website, rank higher and higher. You follow? I know I'm throwing a ton at you. This is a beefy framework, but I just want to make sure you see the roadmap ahead and that we're able to prioritize what's important. So with that being said, the amplifiers, we covered those, the magnifiers, pay-per-click, partnering or promoting, affiliate income, digital publishing. This is where you take something that has momentum and is working and amplify it, the pay-per-click and pay advertising, Facebook ads, Instagram ads. Partner or promoting, very much around affiliates in line of what we do in terms of thought leaders. Affiliate income is where you're promoting other people's products to your people. And then digital publishing is where you're creating things that can go into the world that you can either sell on your site or put in the world as sort of your business card, a book, an ebook, checklist, whatever that is. And finally, the growth focus. So many people came into our offices and still talk to me. They think it's all about SEO. Oh, if I show up online, my whole world's going to change. And very rarely is that the case. There has been a couple of exceptions to that. But most of the time, it's just rekindling, reigniting the relationships with their existing customers, using social media, using email marketing, and most importantly, having their people and them call their existing customers. You follow? And then finally, online participation. And we just went over some of that, is that big piece of this. So we're going to dive deeper on the success roadmap. All I wanted to make sure of is this. It's incredibly important for us to think through sales and offers first, because as you saw in the success roadmap, everything pivoted around that. So many people have come to me and said, Char, I'm going to do this podcast. And I'm like, okay, how are you doing with sales? Oh, well, not really doing much in sales. I'm not really getting people to convert on my offers. Okay, well, let's work on that first. Then let's do the podcast. And as we brainstorm that, sometimes, not always, we're able to take the content they're creating for their offers and leverage that as podcast material. Leverage that as mini videos online. Leverage that as YouTube videos. Leverage that in email marketing. You follow? I hope this is coming around for you. I know I've thrown a ton at you. Let's go ahead now. Take a deep breath. And let's dive into tactics. So if you can see that, yep, still on the screen. Define 1, 2, or 3 offers that explicitly bridge the gap on how you help. So what does that mean? It means you recognize there's people that are struggling with certain things that you can help them with. Like, for example, with Nina, she's helps people write their books to go from inspiration to creation. If I got that right, Nina? So she's recognizing there's a lot of people in the world that want to be authors, and they're struggling with where to start, what to go after, and the ambition is to have a written book that's hopefully successful and well written, right? And then the money in that whole equation is helping them bridge that gap. So her one offer, and I know she has that, is one of her monthly programs where we're helping you take steps to go towards that with maybe an online course and some coaching too. Follow? So we got to be real clear about what that is for you. What's 1, 2, or 3 offers that explicitly bridge the gap on how you help? The second part to this is to build your foundation, as we talked about. Who are you going to start calling, contacting, and having this conversation with? Especially a couple of people I've talked to last week, they're like, they know me for this. Now I'm doing this. Ugh. My thought for them, and this is what I did when I got high performance coaching, is I just said, hey guys, I got another thing that I might be able to help you with. But before I get into what that is, what are you struggling with in life right now? And they're like, why are you asking me that? I'm like, trust me, it builds to something. Just take a moment. I know it might seem a little weird because you know me for the internet and business guy, but what are you struggling with in life right now? And then boom, we're into the topic. Well, I lost my zest for my relationship with my significant other. Oh, okay. Well, tell me more about that. Then we go down that path. What would it look like if you brought the zest back? Felt that maybe when you're first dating, that kind of energy. And then invariably at some point, I'll pivot it to be about clarity, focus, courage, influence. These are topics we teach in high performance, right? That's the piece. So really going after the relationship aspect of it. Next, and sometimes first, depending on how you approach this, is defining and putting out, making available for people to pay you. So many people that I know get that backwards. They go out and start doing relationships. Well, I'll send you a link. When you have the link done and you're solid with the fact that it's good, you will literally, this is how I've done it, and so many people I've coached, you will be like, do you really want me to help you with this? Because I can help you get that relationship back on track, or at least assess whether that relationship's worth having. Do you really want help? Awesome. I'm going to send you a link for our strategy session. Go ahead, take your time, review it, click purchase offer if you're ready, and as soon as I see that come through, I'll schedule our first session. And I'll send you our questionnaire too. Sometimes we send the questionnaire first, but I recommend for people who need money, like they need to convert sales, send the questionnaire later. Don't put any roadblocks into getting people into your program and then really helping them with whatever you're blessed to do. Does that sound fair? Cool? Awesome. So build the foundation, relationships and offers. Third, integrate struggle to ambition into all relevant online drives. So what does that mean? It means when you're thinking about all these online drives, and I'm just going to pick two, email marketing, that you put out an email message, maybe a 9-word email to your list that says, hey guys, love to know, are you struggling or I'd love to know, what are you struggling with in life right now? I might be able to help you, Charlie. And that might be more than 9 words, but you get the idea. Nice and short and sweet. Or one of the things that I did, hey guys, I'm making videos, online training to help you in business and internet. What are you struggling with? Charlie. That was it. Got out of 2,300 emails, I got 280 responses in the first day, total of 556. I'm kind of a math nut, just through that little email. So that's the piece. Integrate the struggle to ambition into the online drives. Like take email marketing as one of the basics in our success roadmap and say, what is it I can do along these lines to facilitate what I can do to help people understand I'm here to help them. Not just, hey guys, I'm a certified high performance coach. Hey guys, I'm known for business internet. Let me know if I can help you. But really get into the conversation with them. And then finally, pick 3 and go. Make sure you have very clear CTAs. So I wanted to end with this. If you're considering podcasting, be extremely clear about the next steps for the people that your audience, if you will. Pepper that into your podcast. And you don't have to be salesy about it. Just be like, maybe 10 minutes in on a 20-minute podcast. Hey guys, if you need more help in any of these areas, I'm blessed to be a coach. I can help you there. Feel free to reach out to me. And then at the very end, again, if you need any more help in these areas, I've got some online resources, and I'm also a coach. I can help you in these areas. Would love to. It'd be an honor for me to even interview you to see if we're a good fit and help towards these ends, these emotional benefits. Like the basics, having very clear CTAs. I see so many people putting out legacy material, videos, podcasts, blog posts that completely miss the thematic of what they've covered in a story to say, if you're struggling with these things, you're not alone. I've helped people just like you, and here's how I might be able to help you. Just at the very end, just a little clip. Not that all of those are going to convert, but it's over time. You've got that material out there and it gains momentum. You follow? Even in a YouTube video at the outro. Hey guys, if you love what we've covered in this video, I've got 3 things for you. 1, go ahead and take our 10-day health, wealth, and happiness challenge, where we break down for you the 10 needle movers in the feeling of life, of purpose, passion, positivity, and yep, even profitability. 2, if you really like what we're covering here, go ahead and fill out my application, which tells me how I may be able to help you even more. And 3rd, if you love what we're doing here and you want immediate training, go ahead and jump into our health, wealth, and happiness training, mastery training, and it's a $1 trial, ... You see? And if you watch any of the emails from Brendan lately and Mel and all the big guys that are doing major work online, you'll see they have the 3 to 4 things, calls to action in their emails. And I'll make sure if I can find that one from Mel that just came through. I think I saved it. I'll link it in the replay for this. Whew. So I know we've covered a lot today. I knew this would be a hefty day. But I wanted to kind of lay the land for where to concentrate, where to focus, how to prioritize. So if the success roadmap seemed a little overwhelming, don't worry. We're going to cover that in more detail as we move through our continued training. I'm going to be refilming the online course that goes into huge depth with it. So we'll be painting that frame for you. In the bigger scope of things, kind of recap what we did today, we talked about the high level of purpose, passion, positivity, productivity, and profitability towards the relationships, the offers, the ways that we can make money in the world, towards building transactions and doing that consistently. We walk through some very specific models on how to approach and think about perspective, if you will, on the material that you're putting in the world that can be leveraged for other things. You're going to see a lot of that coming up as I move into March with a lot of our material that we've already filmed. Versus individual bubbles. We talked about who we're reaching out to. And this goes back to a lot of our previous training. The people closest to us, we just have to come up with the right questions that acknowledge where they're at. And then have the right, I would say, courage to talk about what's possible and say, we can help. I can help you. Would you like some help? And that would be this piece. How we do it? Concentrating on the relationships, saying, would you like some help? Providing them an offer. And if they're emotionally fueled enough, they'll become a transaction. So we can continue to build that revenue to make sure that we're taking care of us so we can take care of the world. And whatever the context is for what we're doing. We also went over the success roadmap, which really breaks down, very detailed, the strategy, the way I think through it, the way I've helped thousands, easily thousands now, think through and create ongoing campaigns. Just so you know, this success roadmap is responsible for how we have kept clients in my other business from 2007, 8, 9. We still serve them today on a monthly program. So think a lot about what I've shared today. And it might be over your head. My job here is to push you. But know this, I'm here to help you live purposefully, passionately, got the emotional ignition, positively bringing the joy, productively going after the right things in the right order, focused, prioritized, strategic, taking action, and profitably too. Thank you so incredibly much for being here today. If you have questions, and I'm sure there's going to be some, because this was a heavy-duty hitter, let me know what they are. And I'll see those of you who want to attend our Q&A today or on February 20th. Be happy to help, support, take care of you. We can do some success roadmaps too. Take care. Have a good one. Bye.